Good morning, everyone. It's good to see some familiar faces, but let me start off by saying I think there's a few people are probably still recovering from the wonderful dinner last night, and we hope that they will join us later on during the day as we go on. Let me also take this opportunity to thank the organizers for again inviting us, government institutions, to come and share some of the work that we are doing in trying to facilitate businesses into PNG. In my presentation, I will share a little bit about what the IPA does in terms of facilitating and promoting investment. And then I will go on to mentioning a few of the changes that we are doing together as a government team in terms of utilizing platforms such as digitization and trying to make it easy for businesses to move around and get the necessary approvals. And then recently I'll spend a bit of time on to give you some indication on the figures on the major work that we've done at the IPA in terms of updating our laws, and which led to the introduction of an online system. I'll give you some figures and for you to make your own judgments. I'll tell you a little bit about investment inflows, from which country it's coming and which sectors. And then at the end, I will declare that PNG is open for business. So at the IPA, this is a quick summary of what we do at the IPA as an investment facilitator and an agency responsible for promoting PNG as a preferred investment destination. It's a multi-functional agency in terms of promoting investment on the one hand, but on the other hand, also carrying out regulatory functions such as provision of the registry services, and secondly, the provision of the registry for the Intellectual Property Office. So I've summed them up there. So initially, when you're looking at coming into PNG, we can provide you some initial information on business advisory, on how to do business and who the right people to talk to. The startup from registration to getting other necessary approvals. And of course, there's a team that facilitates businesses, investors when they get into town. The next function that we perform is matchmaking. We can lead you to talk to the right people, talk to the right provincial agencies, the economic sectors, depending on your interest. We've got we're forging a strong working relationship with the provinces through the signing of provincial MOUs. And as we speak, so far I've signed up on about 12 of them. And as a result of that, the IPA has rolled out IPA help desks to 6 of those provinces. So basically what it means is that the services that you can access at the headquarters office in Port Moresby, you can also access the same in those 6 provinces without having to come to Port Moresby. And of course, I mentioned about the licensing and the work that we are doing jointly with other agencies. The IPA can give you the advice and lead you to the right people to talk to, depending on which sector or business you are interested in. And at this juncture, let me commend a positive approach that we are doing as a joint agency committee. There's a formation of JASCO, which comprises of the IPA, Immigration, ICCC, Customs, IRC, all the regulatory bodies. We've come together and we've formed a committee where we all collaborate and we go out to do joint exercises throughout the country. And of course, once you come into PNG and you set up, there's an aftercare service that we also provide. If you have any issues with any government agency, we are your intermediary. You can come and talk to us and we'll take it up to the right agency or to government through the usual processes. So those are just to give you some highlight on the core responsibilities of the IPA as the first point of contact for businesses to come to. So IPA is the first point of contact if you are intending to come to PNG. Of course, given the previous slide that I have just gone through, you will obviously capture the reasons as to why. You must come and talk to the IPA first. We facilitate business and investment interest, and linking you up with the right people to talk to, both in government and in business. There's a process that we undertake through the Investment Promotion Act of admitting foreign direct investment through the Foreign Enterprise Certification. And of course, we undertake policy advocacies on the ease of doing business. Whilst on the ease of doing business, I think I should state here that the World Bank has decided to do away with the EODB and is now replacing it with what's called the Be Ready. Be Ready is business ready. Similar kind of work, but I hear it's more demand and more work to be done in that space. These are some of the things that we, as I mentioned earlier, that we are doing in terms of working together and trying to assist businesses. So in 2009, we've been working on doing a lot of work within the IPA, as well as with other agencies. You can read those. So I think the major work that we've done over the last 4 years is a total review of the pieces of legislation that come within the ambit of the IPA. We've undertaken a review of the Companies Act, the Business Names Act, the Business Groups Act, and we totally revamped the Associations Incorporations Act from 1966. So we have a new law that's now in place. And as we speak, these pieces of legislation, the regulations have been approved by government, except for the association's regulations. I mentioned the task force. We are also heavily involved in the National Coordinating Committee in relation to anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing. As you know, this year we completed our peer review. We had a mutual evaluation team that was in town for a couple of weeks. And as we speak, in the next couple of months, maybe 2 months' time, we hope to receive a draft report. It's important for me to mention this because that will, when the report is presented in June next year in Japan, it will show us where PNG stands in terms of preferred place to do business. These are some of the interventions that we are doing. As you know, the government has launched the ICT policy, so we're heavily involved in that space. For your information, what we expect at the end of the day is a consolidation of all our regulatory processes, where we have the Department of ICT leading the exercise in coming up, trying to organize a platform, an API, where all government regulatory services will be converged and make easy for businesses to do their business in terms of licenses. Clarence will be talking on the transfer of the work permit to immigration. The other Clarence, that is, from immigration. He will tell you the work that, and it's important for businesses that these functions are placed in immigration, so they can then grant the visa and work permits. I mentioned a little bit about the e-filing application. The IRC is going that far within the IPA. For those of you who have interest in intellectual property, we've also recently launched 2 weeks ago the e-filing of intellectual property applications in relation to trademarks. This is just to show you where businesses are coming in from, and for obvious reasons. Since COVID struck, Australia has been the #1 investor in PNG. A couple of years ago, when I presented these slides, it used to move between Australia and China. Now we've got Australia having a major drive in that regard. This is just to give you some figures on the several sectors that we're getting applications on. And as you can see, construction obviously is the lead sector for businesses coming in. This data is captured from the foreign enterprise certification process that we undertake, approving businesses to go into particular sectors. This is just to show you some of as I mentioned earlier, as a result of the changes that we've done to the laws, we've launched a new registry, online registry system. The new registry system came on board on the 1st of December 2022. And through this exercise, the IPA gave 12 months notice to all business entities to come and update their information in the system. So they take ownership of their own data in the online system and do the changes as and when they wish. So as you can see, in terms of foreign investment, those are some of the figures that we've captured in the new system. And it also shows you a comparison from what used to happen in the old system, which we ran from 2013 to last year, December. And the new system is now under implementation for the first year. So I'll go through some of the quick stats. This one, the importance of this slide is to show you through the re-registration exercise. In the first column there, where you see 71,000 companies, that's the number of companies that we had formally registered in the old system. And as you go towards my right, it shows you that, out of 71,000, about 58,000 have yet to re-register in the system. And then even if you go to the next one, about 11,000 have re-registered. So we're tracking at around 19-20% on this one, on companies updating. It's important, so on the registry now, active businesses that have updated their records on the IPA system stands at about 18-20,000 as we speak. So that just shows you the level of compliance. At the moment, it's running at 20%, which is, to us is a going concern. But I think the other key takeout that we get from this exercise is the fact that we are cleaning up the data. We are cleaning up the data, and by the time this exercise finishes, we will have the most updated data on which companies are in fact doing businesses and which ones have just registered and are not doing anything at all. So you can have that slides later on. This one tells you basically the same information, but again, over each quarter, the message there is to see that you can see that the interest is there. It continues to grow. I'm at the end, Frank. So as usual, PNG is open for business. We continue as a joint government agencies, we continue to do our close working relationships to improve the environment, and the IPA stands ready to receive you when you visit PNG. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.